Yes, by close of trading Friday. No, you can't have more time. You know the terms, you know the consequences. Friday it is then. You have a good night, Mr. President.
1080p? Check. 60 frames per second? Check. Super awesome hardcore hack and slash action? Mega check. Yes, DmC Devil May Cry Definitive Edition takes an already great game and turns everything up to 11.
Ebony, Ivory, Mr. Girls.
Let's start with the visuals, this time rendering at a stable 1080p 60 frames per second. Say what you will about just how much people actually notice frame rate and resolution, but for games that value split-second timing, those extra 30 frames are essential and make for a smoother, more responsive experience. The extra resolution also highlights DmC's stylistic triumphs. Its colourful, oversaturated look is not only visually stunning in its new 1080p guise, but also strangely prescient of the direction that later Xbox One and PlayStation 4 games would take.
Great.
One of the best additions is the optional Turbo mode, which boosts game speed by a substantial 20%. It's not for the faint-hearted, but the additional speed makes for furious and thoroughly enjoyable combat. There's also the optional Hardcore mode that rebalances the game. Some of the changes include a tweak style system that quickly deteriorates, increased enemy damage, adjusted parry and evade windows, and a shorter devil trigger. With Dante's trifecta of light, medium and heavy weapons in tow, as well as guns for ranged shots, spectacular combos fly off the fingers with far less effort than before. That's not to say things are easier this time around. You will still need to put in the effort in practice mode, carefully studying the command list in order to graduate from simple button mashing. But it's worthwhile, and before long staccato stabbing motions are replaced with elegant swipes, dodges and uppercuts that chain together for near endless combos in the air and on the ground. Serious masochists can opt to turn on the Must Style modifier, which makes it so that you can't damage enemies until you've achieved an S or higher style ranking by pulling off sweet combos. Stack all the modes and modifiers together and the game turns into a challenge worthy of even the most skilled of hack and slash players. Veteran Devil May Cry fans can even choose to use manual lock-on throughout, which is a nice touch. Annoyingly, if you played through the game before on an older console and have already unlocked the harder difficulty levels, you have to play through the easier ones again to get back to them. What remains unchanged in DmC is the story, but it surpassed expectations here, not because it was ever bad, but it was always overshadowed by the stellar combat. Playing through it again though, it's amazing to see just how ambitious, and at times rather clever it is. Let's not forget that, as a series, Devil May Cry didn't exactly set the world on fire with its schlocky tales of adolescent fantasy. But with DmC, Ninja Theory crafted a story with depth, mostly believable characters, and an ambitious assault on commercialism and modern media.
They are enslaving mankind. The world is asleep, brainwashed, and helpless. We're fighting back.
Time has been kind to DmC's boss battles too. They're still terribly formulaic, making you learn a boss's repetitive movements in order to land an attack, but they're seriously impressive, both visually and narratively. An early encounter with the squishy succubus is a treat, not because of the basic platforming required to defeat her, but because of the incredibly foul-mouthed tirades and involuntary neon vomiting. Is it all a case of style over substance? Perhaps, but boy, what a style. I imagine there are still some people out there put off by the direction that Ninja Theory took with DmC, who still haven't given the game a shot because it's so drastically changed the look of the series. This does the game a huge disservice. DmC in its definitive form isn't just a lick of paint and a technical upgrade. It's a real twist on an already impressive game, making it even more hardcore and insanely difficult than ever before. DmC Devil May Cry Definitive Edition isn't just a better version of DmC, it's a bona fide hack and slash classic.